Hello, you're watching The Data Drop brought to you by Unifeye. My name's Jeff Jones. I'm a senior data architect at Unifeye, and today we're going to be talking about serverless compute. So, what is serverless compute? Your team has brought it to you, you've seen it on LinkedIn, you've seen it on blogs. What does it actually mean? Is it a buzzword, or does it actually generate real value for your business? I'm going to tell you why it matters to you and how it'll impact your bottom line. Serverless compute is the infrastructure which runs your workloads without having to manage your servers. If you think of it like electricity in your office or home, you flick a switch, the electricity comes in, it does what you need it to do. When you're finished, you turn the switch off, it's gone. You only pay for what you need, and you don't need to think about things like, where does it come from? How much am I going to need ahead of time? How do I get the infrastructure in place to get it from the grid to my computer to my lighting? We're not having to think about things like that, and that's the same with serverless compute. Previously, you would have a lot of time spent by your engineers and your infrastructure team trying to set up your compute clusters, your interactive clusters, your job clusters, making sure they're right sized, they're not too small so it takes too long for jobs to complete and therefore cost you more money, or they're too big and you're just burning that capacity. With serverless, you don't even need to think about that. It frees up your engineers and your infrastructure team. You only pay for what you use. So when you need to run a job or you need to execute a SQL command or run an ML script, it spins up, it does the job, and it spins down. And there's where it gets really cool, because we think we get about 7 times faster time to live with serverless compute. So these are really cool concepts, but does it work in reality? And the answer is absolutely. It does depend on your workload, but typically if you have unpredictable workloads, you're scaling out your team, you're really interested in cost control, it's absolutely critical for that. What we often see is in SQL warehouses, when we're running the actual SQL queries in Databricks, you can get up to 12 times better price performance versus the classic infrastructure. There's a wonderful example in some of the blogs, a company called Adventina. They saw a 20% reduction in costs and a 30% uptick in performance, whilst seeing a huge improvement in run times because of zero cluster management. So, all that being said, is it appropriate for you? It's definitely worth checking out. There are a couple of scenarios in which you might want to stick with provisioned compute. For a lot of workloads, it's worth testing it because you might see a significant reduction in cost and in runtime, as well as freeing up your team, your engineers, to actually do the jobs that they like to do, building pipelines, producing data value for your business, rather than tweaking clusters, getting the quota up from Azure portal to add more vCPUs to your quota. Everyone's been there. It's not fun. It's not a pleasant experience. Serverless gets rid of that. Okay, I hope that's been of use to you. If you want to know more, we've got great blogs and white papers on our website, unifeye.ai. There's plenty more content on LinkedIn to come up. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, reach out to us on LinkedIn, drop us an email via the website, and I'll see you on the next video.